Go shorty, it's your birthday. We gonna party like it's anyway, y'all. What's up? It's your boy Evan. Welcome to the Cartoon Block. Today I'm gonna show you guys how to draw Silver the Hedgehog. Get back here in a few seconds and we'll get started. Hey guys, click here to draw Sonic, and click here to draw Shadow the Hedgehog. If you ever wanted to learn how to draw these guys, then you definitely have to watch these videos. Today I'll be using my Prismacolor Cool Erase Carmine Red pencil. Now let's get started. We first begin, like most of my drawings, with a sphere. This will be Silver's head. And then once we get that fleshed out, I want to go ahead and draw his upper body, his torso. You're going to basically draw like a jalapeno pepper, and make sure it's curved. And once we get the head fleshed in there and the torso, we move down to the legs, extend them down, and they're about equal to the size of the top of his head to the lower part of his torso. Give it some thickness. And next we're going to go ahead and put in his feet, which we're going to draw as pyramids, the same way we did in the Sonic tutorial and the Shadow tutorial. They're pyramids and triangles. Now time for the center line on his head. Make sure you put this down so your drawing has some symmetry to it. And like Shadow and Sonic's tutorial, we're going to add in Silver's eyes and make him look like Spider-Man's mask almost. Going to curve his brow ridge, darken it in a little bit more, and going to add his eyelid or outer rim of his eye, his muzzle below for his mouth area. Get this quite right. And his nose. All of them have identical noses. It's like a little banana sticking out there. And next we add the guidelines for his eyes, the upper and lower guideline. And Silver's eyelids are a little bit lower than Sonic's and Shadow's. So we're going to go ahead and put in these simple oval shapes here. I'm going to tweak these a little bit more and redo this one over here. I'm going to angle it a tad bit more. Now it's time to tackle Silver's hair. I've developed this framework for you guys to follow when you tackle all 5 of his hair strands. First you begin with the top 3, and then you're going to go ahead and add in the ones going out above his eyelids. Once you get those fleshed out, then we're going to add in this arrow going across. The purpose of putting this arrow in here is to make sure that the strand that's going away from us is in perspective. It should definitely be smaller, just like Silver's eyes that's going away from us on the other side of his head. Things that are closer to us should be bigger, things further away from us should be smaller. And this arrow helps us keep these things in perspective, being on the same, grid line. Now moving on to his ears and his quills, rather, his hair or quills, whatever you want to call them. You can go ahead and add the thickness of them. Nothing difficult. Simply grab as much reference as you can online to see how thick his quills really are. And use multiple pictures too, because I've noticed that the pictures that I found online, different artists have different interpretations of how he should look. Gonna put in the other ear that's away from us, and I'm gonna drop his outer quills down a little bit lower. I'm noticing that they're kind of high. So I'm going to just put them a little bit lower and erase the ones before. And now his 2 back quills. And moving on to his hair, or fur on his chest rather. Whoever's seen a jalapeno pepper have fur on it before? I know I haven't. And his cheek lines, and thicken up his legs, moving down below. And now it's time to start adding in those boots from 200 years in the future, which is where Silver is from. And his boots start midway down his legs and kind of thick like space combat boots. So Silver has this futuristic fashion, if you want to call it that. We're going to go ahead and round out those pyramids and triangles that we drew earlier and start putting in the soles below. And once again, you can get reference to see how his boots look. They're pretty simple. I'd rather draw Silver's boots than draw Shadow's shoes. Shadow's shoes were kind of challenging for me. How many guys out there have a hard time drawing Shadow's feet? So I'll draw Silver's and Sonic's feet any day. So we've added the gold rings at the top of the boots and thickening up the lower portion of the boots with the soles. And gonna add in the sole on the other shoe, or other boot rather. Can you guys tell me something? Is Silver and Blaze, are they a couple or are they just friends? It looks like, you know, Blaze or might have a thing for Silver. I don't know. Does she? Does she have a crush on the guy from the future? You tell me. Now moving on to Silver's arms. Gonna add in his gold cuffs here on his wrists, and reference for his hands. They're like fat sausages, or you can look at your own hands and just get some reference online on how his hands are very simple, or fingers rather. They're very simple. And his other hand, I'm gonna start out by drawing like a hockey puck kind of shape here, just like a disc. That'll be the palm of his hand, and his fingers will curve coming outward. Gonna put in their origin points here on the sides of this hockey puck and have them just fold out, or curve out rather, one at a time. And just work on that a little bit more, and take your time working on, you know, hands. Hands can be kind of difficult, but the characters in the Sonic universe, their fingers are easier because they're like cartoony fingers, almost like Disney's Mickey Mouse stuff. And get that last pinky down there. Okay, got it in there. And gonna fix the thumb a little bit more, so it looks like a more convincing thumb. Add in his gold cuff bracelet on this arm, extend it down, and the details on the rings on his palms, in his body here, and his armpit. After sitting back and looking at this drawing, I'm noticing that Silver doesn't have a great silhouette. A silhouette is an outline of your drawing or your character that you're doing. If the audience or the viewer cannot tell what a character is doing just simply based off a dark silhouette of the figure, a dark outline of the figure, they can't tell what the character is doing, then you have a bad silhouette, a bad drawing. And our job as artists is to communicate, you know, emotion and, you know, an idea, or tell a story by simply drawing a character. And one of the foundations of a solid drawing is to make sure your character has a good silhouette. Ask your art teachers more about this. Now moving on to my Sumo Grip mechanical pencil, I'm going to go ahead and start darkening the lines and fleshing out more of my more permanent red pencil lines, getting rid of the ones I don't want, darkening in these tones around his eyes, and putting in certain, you know, more details that I forgot, like his tail, and more quills that are coming out of his head and his back. I'll flesh those in some more. Add the details, the ring on his hands, which he uses for his psychokinesis powers. So darken it in a little bit more, flesh it in there. And now go ahead and add more details on his gold cuffs. And of course the details in his eyes. Get that shine in there on both of them. And of course the gold cuffs on his boots. Looks right. Add in some tone on his boots. Add a shine right there by the knuckle on his toes. Do the same for over here. I'm gonna add a small shine going around the rim of his silver toe. We're just about done. And there you have it, guys. Silver the Hedgehog. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe. Till next time,